If you're newer to cruising, you've probably made nearly every one of these mistakes. I say this because I've made every one. And veteran cruisers today are still making the mistakes. I finally gave up mistake number 3 after 9 years of cruising. Mistake number 1 is waiting until the last minute to book your cruise. Those days are mostly gone, although you can find some deals here and there. If you're looking at Royal Caribbean in particular, you can take advantage of their going, gone sale, which are sailings that depart within 90 days. This is pretty much after final payment day for most cruises. And as you can see right here, there's not a whole lot of options left anymore. And if you want to take advantage of one of these, simply Google going, gone. Now, I've made this mistake several times, including the very first cruise we ever took as a honeymoon cruise. We got married in September and our honeymoon was in May, and I didn't book the cruise until after our wedding. We wanted to make sure we had enough money to pay for it. Instead, you should be looking to book a cruise a year or more in advance. Remember, if the price ever goes down, you can simply reprice it anytime before final payment date. Demand for cruises has been absolutely crazy for 2024, and in particular for Royal Caribbean. For instance, for 2024, they have already sold 88% capacity for all of 2024. This means they only have 12% of rooms left. And with simple supply and demand and dynamic pricing, the less rooms are available, the higher price they can charge for the remaining rooms. Just listen to what Jason Liberty, CEO and President of Royal Caribbean, had to say on this past Q1 earnings call.
In the first quarter, we delivered 2 million memorable vacations and achieved 107% load factor at exceptional guest satisfaction scores. That acceleration has picked up speed, and of course at this point we only have about 12% load factors left to build for the year, and so that will provide opportunity for us to a degree this year. But what that I think means in terms of the opportunity into 2025 and beyond is very appealing. I think when you frame that the $1.9 trillion travel space, and of course that's a growing number. Cruise is $65 billion of that 1.9 trillion. So we're a very, very small fraction. And I think something we've talked about before is a 1% shift is worth 11 Oasis class ships.
Yes, I too wish I bought Royal Caribbean stock 2 years ago when it was in the $50 range, and that wasn't even the lowest, because now it's over $130 a share. Having said that, I too am going to take my own advice and start booking cruises for 2025 and 2026, in particular for my kids' fall break, and I don't even know when that is. So I'm going to have to take an educated guess and book a couple of rooms for 2 different weeks. Now obviously I'm going to make sure I book the refundable rate, and whatever week we don't use because fall break isn't that week, we will get a full refund. Just make sure you book it for the right year, since you got 2025 and 2026 cruises available now. Booking direct with the cruise line is the second mistake many of you will make. And I used to do this as well, but I've got so many other better things I could be doing rather than sitting on hold with the cruise line, like playing with my kids or making a YouTube video for you. All I do is I email my travel agent the itinerary I want, and she'll come back with refundable and non-refundable rates for the different room categories. I still get to do all the fun things like booking dining and any of the activities on the ship and any excursions in the different ports. When you're booking your own room, it is so easy to make a mistake. I'm not talking about booking a room all the way in the front of the ship or below the dance club. I'm talking about booking 2 separate rooms, maybe guaranteed rooms, or rooms that are not connecting when you're traveling as a family. This leads me to mistake number 3. While this next mistake mostly for families, be sure to stick around for the next one, which has literally saved me thousands of dollars. Now mistake number 3 is doing the royal bid up. And the reason why this is a mistake specifically for families is because if you have 2 rooms and you win the royal bid, they're going to separate you. You're not going to have connecting rooms. You're not going to have rooms right across the hall or right next to each other, you're just going to be in any random part of the ship. So now dad's going to have to sleep with the child and mom's going to have to sleep with the child. I'm pretty sure when you booked your cruise, you all want to be together. Not only that, but let's say you're in one room and you do a royal bid, but you have 5 members in your family. Well, that 5th person, they're actually on a different reservation number, because Royal Caribbean system only lets them put 4 people on a single reservation. And there's not a whole lot of rooms that have 5 people able to sleep in one room. So there's a good chance that, yeah, if you win that royal up bid, you might end up all 4 of you in one room, but that other person, they're kind of lost in La La Land. And that's going to create a whole nother fiasco. Now I no longer do royal bid ups. And the main reason is I just rather have that peace of mind knowing what room I'm going to be in, print my luggage tags, and being done. And not wondering like, oh, am I going to get a royal bid up on the day of the sailing and then have to go through all that? I get excited. I don't want to worry about it. Would I like to stay in a suite? Yes, of course I'd like to stay in a suite. But reality is, the suites are usually the first type of room that goes sold out. So the odds of me getting one of them just goes down. And also, I feel the royal bid up process is just another way for Royal Caribbean or any other cruise line to gather data. Even now, with ships sailing at over 100% capacity, you're probably going to receive an email that wants you to do a royal bid up. Thing here is, Royal Caribbean and other cruise lines are just trying to gather data to find out how much you would pay for that extra nice room. In fact, I have even recently had this happen on an airline. I was asked the night before during check-in on how much would it take for me to get bumped to the next flight. Later on, I learned, hey, that flight wasn't even full, so they didn't need me. They were just gathering data. So rather than spending extra money on a royal bid up, I'm going to save thousands of dollars by not making my next mistake. I saved thousands of dollars simply by using a travel agent. And the reason why I'm able to save so much is because of group rates and sometimes some free onboard credit. For instance, last May we were on a cruise and we booked another cruise at the next cruise office, which is booking directly with Royal Caribbean. However, my travel agent gets credit, and when I get back, I let her know I booked a cruise. And then she reprices it for me. She was able to save us $900 simply because she had a group rate available. Now this cruise here is extra special because this is my wife's graduation cruise. She just graduated this past week from a local college. She was able to complete her bachelor's degree while having 2 kids, a full-time job, mama, and wife. Yes, she's super mom and super wife. Now take my advice and use a super travel agent, and be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. YouTube is going to recommend this video just for you. Thank you. This is Brian, Tips for Cruisers.